Hello and welcome to the Ifrit Lufenia fight.
みんな無理しすぎるなよ。
I'm gonna be perfectly honest, this fight is a drag pretty much. If you're gonna choose to do it the way that I decided to do it, I tried the rush down method. Ifrit just has too many attacks because it's like 5 of them, and if you end up taking 3 of them in a row, not even Setzer or Wall are gonna save you from that from what I've seen. So because I didn't manage to get the timing correctly on those, I decided to just do it the boring way, which is the counter route, and the counter route takes forever in the day. This video is 35 minutes long. I was never gonna, like, I don't want to post a video that's 35 minutes long ever again for this idea, and so of course it's sped up to high heavens. The setup is pretty easy. It's Bart, Core, and Oran, and with Bart it's better just to burst straight off the bat because it takes Bart quite a bit in order to actually set up. He needs to use skill 1, skill 2 in order to get to the plus version so that he provides more buffs. He needs to EX, he needs to LD, and the burst phase just straight off the bat. I mean, it's not meant to be damaging, but it's okay. And Ifrit has HP first also at 90%, at 70%, at 50%, at 30%, and at 10%. He will jump in front of you, do his big massive HP AoE break plus HP attack, and then delay everybody by 2 turns, which is great for counter teams, not so much if you don't have counter teams. Oran and Core's buffs, he will break indifferent of Core's buffs. So for example, Core has a buff that prevents him from getting insta-broken. That does not matter. Ifrit will just automatically break Core and the person who Core is targeting as their buffs. I kept Core's buff on Bart because Oran has more damage reduction, Bart's does not, so I didn't want Bart to lose too much HP, because if you leave Bart unattended, he can kind of sort of die on you. Like Ifrit and his little Bally over there can actually do enough damage to kill Bart, and I didn't want Bart to die because he's essentially the reason why I'm doing max damage all the time with the counters. So Ifrit has a bit of an annoying mechanic, or better said, the globe that will heal. Don't target that. That thing will always heal for the amount of damage that you do. If you do 200 million damage on that thing, it will heal for 200 million damage. As soon as your turn is over, you cannot kill it. The thing that you can kill is Ifrit. And the little ball thing will disappear as soon as Ifrit is dead, and it's recast. There's no cancel, I'm sorry, for the recast of the little fiery ball, but it will not kill you. If the recast goes off, it will not kill you, so you are safe from the recast of that little fiery ball. The only thing that you need to worry about is Ifrit, and Ifrit with a delay team like mine, not even Ifrit is a problem, because Ifrit's orb goes up if he takes turns by 3, and it's never a problem. Like as you can see, he's already at 61%, and his own counter has not started off. And yes, Ifrit does heal for almost 300,000 per turn, but between Oran and Core, you can basically negate that healing. So I would not recommend that you worry too much about it. Other than that, this fight is pretty straightforward. Just make sure that you have Bart's buffs active, Core's buffs, Oran's buffs active. There's not much of a problem. With this team, I was pretty safe. So with the Core's buff on Bart, I was pretty safe. I was never really in danger that they would die. The only thing I would say is I summon with Shiva very early. You can keep the summon for the end just to kill Ifrit faster. I didn't. I was impatient because at this point in time I hadn't realized that the countdown from the little ball thing doesn't kill you. So I was a little bit freaked out, let's say. I thought that it would kill me. And by the way, launch doesn't work here if it has massive reductions on launch teams, and as soon as he gets below 30%, you're doing nothing with a launch. Like nada, absolutely squat. But yeah, the only thing that you need to worry about is maybe that your health is okay when he's about to hit the thresholds and do his big AoE HP attack. Otherwise, the little ball doesn't do enough damage for you to worry about it. And I had Jack and Kurasame here just to somewhat raise my damage here and there. I didn't need to use the friend support Barts, but I wasn't expecting that I'd need to use him. I just had him there for safety in case I needed a couple of extra turns and my Barts ran out of BT. But as you can see, he's already down to 50% and Bart still hasn't lost his initial BT. So not really too much of a problem here. I was considering Maria on this team, but I still don't feel like Maria has enough buffs to replace Bart. Oh look, Ifrit's orb finally came out and it's like 30 turns and he's gonna raise it by 3 as soon as his turn hits, so really, Ifrit's orb is not the problem, and the little flame ball thing's orb is not the problem here. And the team is pretty safe, I would say. I had Setzer there in case I really needed a freeze joker so that I wouldn't die at one of Ifrit's thresholds, but I should have brought somebody, something like Faris or Fran instead of Setzer, because this team didn't have the problem. I didn't need to use Setzer, and at the end of the day he was just damage. If he's not doing his job of helping with the freeze, then he is just damage, and at that point in time you can just replace him with Fran and Fran will help you to do good numbers. But even so, this team did good numbers without, let's say, like even when I lost Kurasame, it wasn't like Core wasn't hitting for 13,000. It wasn't like Bart wasn't hitting for caps, so they were hitting for caps. Bart's BT was enough to make Orin and Bart hit Orin and Core hit for caps. So I would honestly not worry about the damage. If we're taking so many turns, and his little Bali friend who is always going to be hitting all is absolutely a godsend for Core, because Core double attacks, which counters Ifrit's healing quite a bit, even when he is taking like 4 or 2 turns in a row, let's say. And I wasn't even close to hitting the turn count, like to being in danger of not making turns. So I would say I was pretty much fine. And I was never in any kind of danger with this team. Actually, there is a danger with this team. You might die of boredom. Like the Ifrit fight feels annoying because it's not hard, it's boring, and I think that's worse than being hard. At the very least in my opinion. I don't know how other people feel about this fight, but sitting there for 35 minutes and watching those counters just go is boring. And here we are about to hit Ifrit's final threshold, which is why I struggled a little bit with Core just to get to it so that he'd finally do his shenanigans and I'd finally be free of that shenanigan. I should have had my summon so that I could have killed him here. Like 38 turns would have probably been, but it's fine either way. Yeah, and he's dead. That was pretty much the run. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.